Like if you're young, if you're female, if you're racialized, if you're fat, any of these things, it's very, very common to be dismissed and have pain dismissed by a doctor. So in average, and my source for this was Endometriosis UK, the statistic that gets thrown around is 7.5 years in the UK wait for a diagnosis of endometriosis from the first time you present to a healthcare professional with symptoms. And that's a very long time to be in as much pain as it causes. Because when you first had the call with me, I went and I got my notebook and I wrote down like every different type of pain I feel. It really got me thinking and noticing. And I wrote down how they would visually look. I wrote down whereabouts in the body they were, how I could represent them. And it made me realize like the primary pain I deal with is the endometriosis pain. And it is really quite something, despite the fact I've had a laparoscopic surgery, and they've taken as much as they can. And even with all that, it's not just 1 week out of the month that I get this really heavy, dull pain that literally like screws me up into a ball and stops me from doing things I want to be able to do. It's multiple weeks and it's unpredictable. Yeah. So I wanted to represent that, but I wanted to still do it through this lens in how the medical profession sees pain on certain bodies. Like if you're young, if you're female, if you're racialized, if you're fat, any of these things, it's very, very common to be dismissed and have pain dismissed by a doctor. I'm aware that you can't control people's reactions to art and you can't control how it's going to make them feel, what they'll take away, and I've had to make my peace with that. But like if I could just have like a glowing neon sign like bias in healthcare is bad, we should do something about that. But if people can take away those kind of ideas, and if it will make people think a little bit deeper about the way in which pain is seen, the way in which disability in general is seen, and the way in which it's seen on different bodies. I think that would be probably the best takeaway.